Gobble, gobble. Welcome to the Thanksgiving edition of Prep Rally. I'm Chip Souza, joined by Rick Fires, and we're going to recap last week's high school football playoffs. Ricky, last week was the quarterfinals for Class 7A teams. This week they move into the semifinals for the lower classification. This is quarterfinal week. Had some great games going on all across Northwest Arkansas. We're going to start in Class 7A, where, Rick, you were over at Centerton, over at Wolverine Stadium.
Yep.
Bentonville West against Conway. We knew it was going to be a good game. Ricky, West found a way to pull it out.
They sure did. I mean, they were ahead 17-0 after first quarter. I said, man, this is going to be easy. And then just when you start thinking something like that,
you never say that.
Swing the other way.
You just killed the juju. You never say that.
I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Maybe I'll get out here a little bit early.
Oh, boy. That's just a kiss of death right there.
I didn't say it out loud. I just said it to myself.
You thought it.
I might have wrote it down. That's what jinxed me.
That's what got it.
But Bentonville West jumps out ahead 17-0. And then gradually but surely, here comes Conway. They scored 3 straight touchdowns. Oh, my goodness, Wolverine's going to get beat on their home field. And just when I was thinking that, the quarterback, McDonald, hit Humes with the little slant pass touchdown. Next possession, Whitlack, great player, linebacker, running back, goes 65 yards straight up the middle, shows some speed, outruns everybody. Boom, Bentonville West moves on.
So, Rick, this Friday was historical for me because I never get anything right, ever, rarely, ever.
Oh, about what? You predict
anything. I've been married a long time. I'm never right about anything, okay? So that's just part of the thing.
I see. Okay,
but anyway, I said no team comes back from a loss better than Bentonville West. Brian Pratt does a great job of taking, taking what, a team that, they lost. They lost to Bryant, remember, earlier in the year. They came back and played much better, won about 5 in a row. They lost to Bentonville High in the regular season, finale, got slapped around, got taken to the woodshed, basically.
Yeah, basically.
But they came back. When you lose, your deficiencies are exposed, and the coaches over at West do a great job, and they did a good job of seeing those deficiencies and working on them. And you see they were able to get a win last week over a Conway team, which quite frankly might have better talent than Bentonville West.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Manny, the running
back, yes.
Manny, man, he was all over the place. He is fantastic. I think he's still got some playing time left. He's only junior, but had about 124 yards. They had problems tackling him.
Well, West, like I thought that they would, they did come back from that loss to Bentonville High and got a win this week, or last week. Now, Rick, the thing that they get now is they get that rematch with Bryant this week in the semifinals, and we know that's going to be a tough one. When they did play each other the first time this season, Bryant, I think, beat them 751-3 or something. They
38-0.
38-0. Well, same thing. Felt like
same
that.
thing.
So same thing. So a tall order, obviously, this week for Bentonville West going on the road to Bryant. But congratulations to the Wolverines. Got a big playoff win, and they do move forward. And you know what, Rick? They still do have to play that game Friday night, and anything can happen. Bryant is not unbeatable.
No, they're not unbeatable, but, man, they sure are good. And Fayetteville played Bryant a second time, and it was only, I think, Fayetteville got 1 point closer than what they did.
So you're saying they improved. So you're saying there's a chance.
They improved by 1 point. But, that's why they say it's hard to beat a team twice. We know all the cliches. That's why you play. That's the great thing about sports. You never know. But, my goodness, that's a huge challenge.
Yes, it is.
But, go down there and things happen, and we'll see.
Now, back on the other side of Benton County, Bentonville hosted Little Rock Catholic, a team that had to rally past Van Buren in the first week while Bentonville had gotten a bye. Well, you know what, Rick? It was keep on keeping on for Bentonville. They put a mercy rule whipping on Little Rock Catholic. Ended up being 41-10. Catholic ended up scoring a late touchdown. Bentonville absolutely dominated this game. Catholic, 64 yards rushing, 65 in the first half. Do the math on that one. They finished with 64. So do the math on how they did in the second half.
1 yard?
That would be a negative 1
1
yard.
See, I still got it wrong.
Half. So
Minus
Bentonville
1.
West, those linebackers, I call them the Bruise Brothers. You got Cole Joyce on
goodness.
one. Oh, my
number
God.
45,
42 and 45. Yes,
Ooh,
sir. Yes, sir. They.
If I'm in dark alley, I want them guys not in front of me,
yes,
right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So they, defense, and that's what, we've talked about this. Bentonville's offense it's pretty good. It's not great. It's not highly explosive. Although Ben Pankow did have a big touchdown pass on their first possession, about a 41-yard touchdown pass to Nimrod. But by and large, Bentonville is a grind it down on you, run that clock, run the football. Pankow's a good runner. We know Preston Crawford's a good runner, and they grind you down, and then their defense just does this the whole game.
See, that's the thing. We get so we got Bryant up here on a pedestal, and my goodness, that Ahmad, the running back, and then you got the great receivers and quarterback, and they're just spectacular. When you read the paper, oh my good, but the thing is, like you said, Bentonville's offense, they're not splashy. They just get the job. They're probably, if you grade them, they're probably a B+, but the defense is an A, and the special teams is an A.
A+.
And that's what, you're just kind of overlooking Bentonville a little bit just because they're not splashy. But my goodness, I don't know if there's a team more solid in all three phases of the game than Bentonville.
Their offensive line is great. Their defensive line controls the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
I mean, they're just solid in every phase. So, they will be tested this week. They get North Little Rock at home Friday.
You know what? Let me interject. It's a good thing. A lot of people want to talk about Bryant and everything, but hey, they got to focus on North Little Rock. It's a good thing they're playing a team that quality where they wouldn't be thinking ahead.
You better believe it. So North Little Rock will give Bentonville a run for its money on Friday. You can count on that because they probably put more talent,
athletes,
1 through 22, than any team in the state. Absolutely. If you're just looking at the game on paper. They've struggled this year. They've had injuries. They've had some suspensions, things like that. But
that running back's back, right?
Brandon Thomas is back. That should be a good game up in Bentonville. And so the semifinals in 7A, you got Bentonville West going to Bryant, and you've got North Little Rock coming up to Bentonville. So that's your semifinals right there.
And those are the best teams, I think.
They are the four
best teams.
They're the four best teams in 7A, and I'm glad it worked out that way.
Yep.
Rick, last week over in Harrison, we knew this was going to be a great game. It was Class 4A, second-round playoff game. We were hoping it was going to be played maybe in the championship game or semifinal, but it came a week earlier than we thought at least. But Pulaski Academy was able to beat an undefeated Harrison team 28-21 in a great game. It was a great game like we knew it would be.
And there's defense.
Yes, it was.
Defense, really. You talk about their offense and their quirky things they do, never punt, onside kick, but their defense helped them win that game, didn't they?
It did. So the Bruins survived and they advanced. Great season for Harrison. Wow.
Yes,
Gabe Husky finished with, had 100 touchdowns in his career. He's going to be going to Ouachita. So, great job. And again, congratulations to Harrison. I know you didn't go as far as you wanted to go, but still had a great season.
Only one team can win the championship.
That's right.
There's a lot of other winners.
And it looks like, 5A could set up as a Little Rock Christian and Pulaski Academy rematch. But I'm telling you what, Rick, lurking over here in this corner, Jacoby Criswell and Marlton. Don't forget about them.
Yeah.
Don't forget about them. You snooze on them, you're going to lose.
And they got the PA this Friday.
Sir. Yeah. So that'll be another great game. So there's your teams in 5A. In 6A, of course, Greenwood took care of business. They got a win there. Rick, if it's not Greenwood and Benton in the championship game, I'll be really surprised.
It will be. Who's Bentonville? Oh, who's Benton got?
I don't even.
It doesn't even. No.
Yeah. So that's going to 6A. Now let's go down to 4A, Rick. Down in Ozark, Harper Falkenberry, their quarterback, who we've talked about a lot, has been player of the week a couple of times this year. Great player, 1,100 yards rushing, 1,000 yards passing as their dual threat quarterback. Injured his leg the week before, so he's out. So Warren's coming in. So that's the end of the season for Ozark, right, Rick?
Yes.
No.
Didn't happen. You would think so.
Yes.
But here's the thing. Okay, we've learned Falkenberry's not going to play. Okay, well, there's no. I was going to pick Ozark anyway.
Yeah. Who, that means Warren's going to play who next?
You know what? Nobody.
This is what happened to Warren when they came to Ozark. That's what Ozark did to them.
And here's the amazing thing. You got the sophomore playing outside linebacker. Falkenberry goes down, and they come, son, you're starting against
here's this ball.
Warren.
Take it and run with it.
And if it's me, I'm going, like that. I don't want it. But this kid, Riker Martin, steps in, guides the offense.
160 yards rushing.
160 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. They don't throw very much, but he's able to connect with Bryant Burns for a touchdown pass.
Yep.
Did a tremendous job.
Eli Munderland had a 150 yards rushing. Yeah, and he's kind of not really so much of a running threat. He's kind of lower on he's a great defensive lineman,
Yes.
but on the running back depth chart kind of low. But he saw an opportunity, and the coach said, "Hey, we need you to be the guy." And by golly, he was the guy.
I thought that was the team. If we did a team of the week, I'd give it to Ozark.
Absolutely.
Especially as
What
circumstances.
a great job Jeremy Burns did and his staff did this week.
Absolutely. The whole team and a little sophomore coming out there. Even the coach said, Riker said, man, I'm a little bit nervous about that. Settle down, son. And they started 3 sophomores on the offensive line.
Yeah.
And Jeremy said in the halftime, they didn't have to rant or anything. Just settle down, guys. Just do your job. You missed this block here. You missed that. You missed that throw. You missed that read. And in the second half, they just dominated. Warren helped by fumbling kickoff twice, but that doesn't take away from the tremendous job that Ozark did winning that game.
Absolutely. So this week, Ozark gets a Pea Ridge team, Rick, that beat Star City last week 21-14. Pea Ridge, a team that not a lot of people in 4A are talking about because you look at their record.
Yep.
They've got 4 losses.
All the 5A schools.
Well,
right?
3 of them to 5A schools, and 1 was to Shiloh Christian.
Which is kind of like 5A.
Kind of like 5A.
Maybe 7A.
And last I checked, Shiloh Christian is still scoring on Pocahontas. I think they beat them 133-5 or something. I mean, 63-14 or whatever it was, but they absolutely ran all over them. So that's Pea Ridge's 4 losses. 1 to Harrison, 1 to Maumelle,
Farmington.
Farmington.
And they were playing well.
Yes, and then Shiloh. So you take those 4 losses, throw those out the window because Pea Ridge is for real, and they're going to be going down to Ozark this week. Rick, that's going to be a great game down there.
Fantastic
I had a chance to talk to Coach Stephen Neal this week, and I said, Coach, have you ever played a game at Ozark? And he said, no. I said, what you're going to find out when you go down there is their community is just like Pea Ridge. Everything, and Rick, you know this, you work down the River Valley at the time. Ozark is all about those kids. That's all the people in Ozark care about are those kids. Everything is focused on those kids down there, and that's why Ozark's successful in football and basketball and Sarah Pfeiffer and all this, Ozark is just all about those kids. Pea Ridge is the same way. You look at the facilities at Pea Ridge, those people spend a lot of money to give those kids the very best that they can. That's going to be a great game. I said, you're going to go into an environment it's going to be a really, really good environment to go into.
Especially my favorite mascot. One of my favorite mascots. You got the hillbilly guy on the sideline.
Ted Darling.
Yeah, the first time I was ever there, I'm sitting down there looking at my notebook, writing something down, and it goes, boom!
Fired off his shotgun.
Yeah, and I'm startled. I think I fell backwards.
Were you checking
about
to see?
Am I okay? Have I been shot? But no, they fire off that little shotgun down there. But it's a great atmosphere for high school football. Ozark Hillbillies, the Blackhawks. Man, what a game on Friday!
It will be a great game. Now, Shiloh Christian won their home playoff game on Friday. Like we said before, they beat Pocahontas, took it to them. I think they were Shiloh had 21 points before the popcorn was even heated up in the concession. I mean, they're putting points on the board. So this week, Shiloh brings in Nashville. Rick,
Nashville's coming in?
Nashville's coming to Springdale, coming to Champion Stadium to play Shiloh. Nashville's got a lot of tradition, so that should be a good game. But man, Shiloh Christian. We talked about Bentonville, having all the phases, checking all the boxes. Shiloh Christian also checking all the boxes. Explosive offense, smash mouth defense, special teams play. I mean, this is the best Shiloh Christian team they've had, in my little tiny opinion, since 2010. Kyle Frazier, Zan Jones, Garrett Harper, all that bunch. This is the best Shiloh Christian team since 2010.
And they got another recent quarterback. How many catches did Trua have? Like 420?
One touchdown for sure. So he's closing in on that record of 30. He's within 4 of that record. So I think he's 4 away from that.
Yeah, there you go.
Something
See,
like
you're
that.
good at that.
Well, as long as it's under 10, I'm okay.
Okay.
So that's another good game going on in this area. So, Rick, we've got some really good games going on. Now, you and I will be over at Bentonville this week for the game of the week as North Little Rock comes in to take on Bentonville. So that'll be 5:30 on Friday. So we'll get a whole bunch of turkey in there,
a whole bunch more,
and maybe a little bit of chocolate pie and all that. Okay. And then we'll get over to Bentonville at 5:30 on Friday for our Prep Rally live show. And we'll be there to give you a little preview of that game. We're going to have coverage all over for the playoffs at all different, wherever we have teams playing, we'll have people there this week. So lots of good photos, lots of good stories, stats, recaps, and all that kind of stuff in the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, as well as online at nwaonline.com. Did I say that slow enough for you? NWA. Get all that?
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
So that's it for this week. Got playoff action coming. We're in the semifinals in the large school. We're in the quarterfinals in the small school. Got Thanksgiving coming up this week. Rick, could it be any better?
Couldn't be any better. Hey, there's some basketball games going on,
And
but
we're there
man,
for those
we're going
too.
to be there for those two. But looking forward to Friday night and some real good action in football.
So Rick and I will see you Friday night.